This is the World on Water for October 18, and in the last 7 days globally in sailing, we can report on Emirates Team New Zealand foil tacking. Alex Thomson gives a guided tour of his new IMOCA 60 HUGO BOSS. The Dragon's 90th anniversary regatta wraps up at the Yacht Club San Remo, and Peter Gilmore is interviewed. The Nations Cup Swan OD Challenge in Palma, Mallorca. And the 87 boats of the 6.5 metre solo mini Transat race fleet are in Las Palmas in Gran Canaria. Now here is the live sail dive footage of the Kiwi AC-75 foil tacking in regular and slow motion. You have seen the new HUGO BOSS sailing. Now here is Alex Thomson with a look on board.
As you know, this boat has been in design and build for nearly 2 years, and loads of you have been asking to see what it's like inside. So let's go and have a look. Well, before we get on board the boat, I do want to quickly show you the hull. Now, most of you probably think the boat is black, and it isn't. It is raw carbon. You can see the pattern of the carbon here. And for the HUGO BOSS logo, what we did, well, I say we, what Jason Carrington did, was to cut out the HUGO BOSS logo in the first layer of carbon and then insert a specially made silver carbon in its place. And then all we did was varnish it. Okay, so here's the navigation station, and here's my computer, which will run all the navigation and all the comms. Also over here is our generator. So we've got a very small diesel Fisher Panda generator. So we're a hybrid system. So the idea is we can use solar as our #1 power, and our last resort is the diesel generator. Over here we've got our water maker. So we desalinate all of our water from the sea, and that is stored the drinking water in the small jerry can, which is over there. So that's all the water that I carry. And all this piping here, and these things we call the scoops, is how we get water into these big ballast tanks. So when the boat's leaning over, we pump water into the high side, the boat goes flatter and faster. I know it's a strange concept, fill your boat full of water and go faster, but believe me, it really works. And one of the most important pieces on the boat is la toilette. So most people just have a normal bucket, but for us, of course, we have a carbon fibre, custom moulded toilet. Probably the world's most expensive toilet. You go put a biodegradable bag in that, you go in that, and then the bag goes in the water. There's no particular galley per se, but we of course have a cooker. It's known as a jet boil. And what this does is boil water. That's all this thing does. And once you've boiled the water, it then gets poured into a bag of freeze-dried food. Now this is real Termat, and this one is a creamy salmon with pasta. So you open the packet, you pour the hot water in, you leave it 10 minutes, and you have a nutritious, tasty, delicious meal. Okay, so we're in the cockpit. So this is where it all happens, and some very basic things. We've got the 4 winches across here, and then all the ropes coming down the forward tunnel, and then the sheets, the ropes that pull the sails in, are all coming down the back of the tunnel and arrive onto these winches as well. So it's a bit of a central pod. The grinding pedestal is here and operates all 4 winches, and I can go either that way or I can go the other way too. So quite an efficient, quite a small space. To drive the boat, well, we've got a tiller here, so now I can put the tiller on either side, and so I can very easily drive the boat, and I can see outside as well. So actually most people think this is a very enclosed cockpit, and it is enclosed. I will be dry, I will be comfortable, I will be warm. Perhaps too warm sometimes, but I will be protected, completely protected. There's very little place for me to be able to fall, and it's very efficient to have a cockpit in this location. Structurally, the sides of the cockpit help to support the keel, which is very good, and having the coach roof behind here allows us to have more solar panels, and if the boat was, God forbid, to go upside down, it will right much easier. So there's lots of benefits to having a cockpit like this. One of the projects we've been working on with Nokia Bell Labs is how to stay in touch with the boat. How do we bring you, the public, inside this boat? So we've got 7 cameras all over the boat, some at the mast, some on the side, some at the back, and one just there in the cockpit. And what we're hoping is that we can invite you guys inside and really get a feel of what this thing's like deep in the Southern Ocean. Very easy to get caught up in thinking about how to make the boat go fast, fast, fast. We also have to work on how do we make Alex, how do we make me fast, how do we make the human as efficient as possible. And one of the things we think is important is to understand exactly all the parameters around a human being. So how much do I sleep, what's my heart rate like, how many calories am I taking in? And so we're working really hard with Nokia Bell Labs to create an interface and a way for me to be able to measure that at all times. And this is how it's starting to look like. This isn't the final thing, but I can see how many calories I'm putting in, I can see my heart rate, and most importantly, I can see how much sleep I'm getting in a 24-hour period. Visibility is obviously very important to us. Now we have made a space where we can see a lot, but there's no reason not to use technology to be able to help us. And as you can see with these tablets, there's 3 tablets set up here with the 3 forward cameras. So 1 under the radar, 2 on each side deck, and these can be maneuvered however I want. They're 360-degree cameras, and I can zoom in, so I should be able to see what is coming ahead of me, as well as be able to see what's happening with the sails. Now all my instruments are up here, so that's where all the data will get shown, and my chart plotter and radar is up here. So now you've seen the inside, let's have a look on deck. As you can see, there is an awful lot of solar panels all over this deck. We've got about 20 square meters, and we're going to try and create enough electricity which will allow us to sail all the way around the world without any fossil fuels. Now, I think it could be a performance advantage to take this sustainable route because the replacement is fuel, and fuel, diesel we carry, is very heavy. In the last Vendée Globe I took 225 litres of fuel, so anything we can save there is going to be a gain. One of the biggest performance gains is to be made in the foils. And as you can see, ours is a completely different concept to other people. And of the 8 new boats in the next Vendée Globe, it looks like there are going to be several different concepts. Now, hopefully we think ours is right, but only time will tell whether it's right or not. But this boat has been specifically designed to be able to lift almost fully out of the water, which reduces the drag and allows us to go up to 40% faster. So these foils work so they get extended into the water, and when the water goes past the foil, it creates lift. So it does two things. One is it's trying to lift the boat out of the water, which is a big, fat, wide boat with lots of drag, lots of friction. So by reducing the friction and the drag, we can go up to 40% faster. One of the big changes this time is we're allowed to change the angle of attack of the foil. And we do that by moving the top part on the deck, the top bearing, we move it forwards and backwards, essentially changing the angle of the wing, and we can then choose how much lift we want to create. Well, that's it, guys. Hopefully you're as excited as we are. So our first race is the Transat Jacques Vabre on the 27th of October. Starts in Le Havre in France and finishes in Salvador de Brazil. And I'll be racing with Neil MacDonald, and that's when we're really going to find out how well this boat performs.
We are in Hong Kong on board the Maserati Multi 70. We are here to do the Hong Kong-Vietnam race. Will be a great race, very fast, a lot of wind. We expect 25, 30 knots of wind. We will need to do some jibe, and the race will be, I think, very, very wet for us. The only problem we have is that in this area the sea is not very clean. There is a lot of stuff in the water, so let's hope not to hit something badly. And if everything is okay, I think we expect to arrive in the next 24 hours.
Well, good morning. Here we are in San Remo for the 90th anniversary regatta of the Dragon class. Personally, I've been involved in the Dragon for a very long time, and with me today I introduce my guests. I have Nicola, who is sailing on a German boat, and I have Anna, who is sailing on a Latvia boat. Apart from I think we have 5 lady helms here at this regatta, so you have the majority of us here this morning. The present now is the regatta here in San Remo, and right now, as you can see, the sun is shining, the breeze is building, and I think we will have some wonderful races here in San Remo.
We had a 2 and a 3 today, so I think we're up there overall for tonight anyway. So yeah, very good day on the water for us.
Well, we had a pin and start, and then we just we kept sailing until we basically reached the ley line, and then we managed to round first. And on the downwind, we managed to get the shifts and the speed and stayed ahead of everyone else. So yeah. I wish it works like that every single time, but I guess we were just lucky.
I think today was everything for us today. I mean, we got 2 very clear, good starts right on the line, clear air, and I mean, we just got a very nice jump straight away and managed to hold it. You know, so the start really was key for us.
This has been an extraordinary event, I think, to see, first of all, so many dragons all together and have that big race where we're all on the start line together. But I think it's been a difficult week to get the racing in, but, you know, we've got a winner of the event, and that's exciting. Look, I think these, I'll never forget I think it was 2003 when they had the anniversary event for the America's Cup in Cowes, and you know, this is just as significant. It's a great coming together, and I think in 10 years' time it will be extraordinary for the Dragon class. Well, look, I think the Dragon's very highly technical. It's you know, a lot of things to tweak and to pull, and you know, very hard to optimise the boat and keep it going. So it really tests you all the time. I guess from a broader sense, with Yanmar supporting our team, Yanmar are really excited to be sort of in this sailing fraternity and, you know, mixing and shaking with the people that might be making the decisions about whether they purchase some Yanmar goods or not. Oh, look, I thought it was a great evening. You know, I think that obviously Yanmar also sponsors the America's Cup, and to have them here at the 90th anniversary regatta and supporting this event's fabulous. And look, I think they really have a deep commitment to sailing. Marine is in their blood. They, you know, I think have 65% of the small boat market for marine engines, and you know, they really want to continue that work.
October 5, the 87 sailors competing in the Mini Transat La Boulangerie set sail from La Rochelle, France on the first leg to Las Palmas of the Gran Canaria. Though the event kicked off in very manageable conditions, the competitors faced a few obstacles throughout the Bay of Biscay and the 1,350-mile course. It was a clean start for all of the races. There were no individual recalls and no technical incidents. Crews are now in Las Palmas, where they have a stopover, waiting for a weather window that's good for their small boats. My only lament is they didn't have this race when I was in my 20s. Good luck to them all.